But yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast. Thanks for reaching out.
Our
Thanks for
pleasure.
having
Thank
us.
you for having me.
We always love when people reach out to us instead of us reaching out to them. So
Yeah, well,
Cool.
we like what you guys do. We thought it'd be a good
yeah, where did you find us or
thing.
find out about us?
Our fearless leader, Romy.
Yeah.
She's actually over in the States at the moment.
Cheer New York.
Yeah, she's in New York. She kind of looks after some things for us and helps us with press stuff and things like that. So yeah, we got a big shout out to Romy for this one.
Thank you, Romy.
Thank you. Come home.
Please come back.
Yeah.
We're nothing without you.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see where she found us, but that'll be another story. We're just curious when where people know like find us. Like, is it Instagram? Is it through word of mouth? Is it YouTube or something? You just want to know those things.
Yeah, I think it was
Definitely.
through Instagram.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Sometime.
we've been doing this now. In July, it'll be a couple years now, so we've been out there.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yes, thanks again for coming on. If you guys could though, if you could introduce yourselves and the role you play in the band so people watching and listening know who we're talking to.
Sure. I'm Matt. I'm the lead singer and I play rhythm guitar.
I'm Chris and I'm the drummer.
And I'm lead guitar.
All right. And what it is said like Rivia, right?
Rivia.
Yeah.
Rivia. What is your
Yeah.
origin story for the band? How did you come up with the name too? I'm curious.
We landed from space in 1984.
Yeah.
So, it's a weird one to be honest. Like me and Warren knew each other from school, and we started like playing together. I had like these songs that I'd written. I'd just come out of another band, um, and we started jamming them, and then we were like, "Oh, this is really good." So we ended up auditioning like 40 people, and then ended up with Chris and our bass player Peter, who's not with us today.
He's ill, by the way. He's like,
Yeah. So yeah, but that's kind of the origin story and the name behind the name behind the band.
Yeah.
The thing behind the name is it's from a series of books that got turned into video games that got turned into a crappy Netflix show called The Witcher. And the main guy in it's called Geralt of Rivia. I really liked what he was all about and how he's sort of an outcast but ends up getting accepted for being a sort of reluctant hero. Um, yeah, so we adopted
Yeah.
Rivia as our sort of our name, and then we were looking on all the different like streaming websites to see if there were any other bands called
Yeah.
Rivia.
It's like check Instagram.
Yeah,
Oh,
like check
you checked
Spotify, check
Twitter.
Apple Music, like, and there was no other bands called Rivia, so we were like, "Ooh, we might be on tour winner here." But because we had a couple of different ideas for the name, but they were all sort of already taken, and we were like, "Well, we've got to compete with
Yeah.
all the people," so we didn't really want to do that. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you want an original name. You don't want a name that people are gonna confuse with another band.
yeah,
No, definitely.
exactly. Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
it.
and it's kind of funny. I was like, it did sound familiar and everything, and then I'm thinking to myself, I have a friend, she has a dog that is famous on TikTok. It has like almost 500,000 followers.
Oh my God.
But her dog is in love with Henry Cavill.
We all
Nice.
are.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like her dog is literally in love. Like Netflix even flew her to London for the Witcher premiere
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
for the dog to meet Henry Cavill. So the dog got to meet Henry Cavill in real life.
That's insane.
That's
No
so
way.
cool.
But I was like, that's kind of funny that you guys named it after like The Witcher, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
band after The Witcher. And then I'm like, oh, I have a famous friend that has a famous dog.
Well, we
We
need to
need
do a
to,
gig with the
Yeah, we
dog.
need
I was
to.
gonna
Yeah,
say,
yeah. Get the dog in as the
definitely.
mascot.
But yeah, maybe I'll send you guys the information. You can check out her dog and its love for Henry Cavill. But on to more stuff about your band, not my friend's dog. I really enjoyed your latest single, Fallen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's definitely one of my favorites of the songs of yours I've listened to. But I also love How Much More Can I Take and Amsterdam.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But I definitely hear the 80s influence you guys are talking about in some of your music. That being said, who are some of your biggest musical influences?
They're quite broad, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've got
that's quite a difference. I mean,
For me, I'm very much a Def Leppard's Bon Jovi mixed with like some 41 and Blink 182 kind of vibe. That's like my two sides is like glam rock and punk rock, I guess. Um, yeah, and then Chris, you've got
yeah.
more of a heavy
Yeah,
taste, haven't you?
my influence is definitely like I grew up just listening to like a lot of American metalcore bands, like Avenged Sevenfold, like my big, I love them. I look like both my Valentine, obviously Slipknot. Like if you grew up in the 2000s, you would listen to Slipknot.
Yeah.
It was just like, but then also like the more poppier side of things. So I'm a big fan of like Paramore, Linkin Park, Bringing the Horizon as well, and how they've transitioned.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely the more like heavier side of music, my influence, and then you're very 80s, aren't you?
yeah, kind of, yeah, I've got like a bit of an old school mix, really, kind of going from like Floyd and Zeppelin up to the 90s stuff like grunge, Nirvana, Pumpkins, it's kind of mix between 60s, 70s, and 90s rock, if you like.
Yeah. Who are
Oh,
your favorite 80s bands?
Hmm.
mine's probably Def Leppard, like
Okay.
Motley Crue.
I was going to say Motley
Motley
Crue, the
Crue is
first kind of coming to mind.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, they're the guys. Like
yeah.
Motley Crue,
Maybe Guns N' Roses, so it's past them 80s, kind of late 80s, maybe.
ladies.
yeah.
80s. Maybe
Ladies.
they kind of late. I'm sticking Guns N' Roses in there. Yeah.
Yeah, the 80s were a great time for music, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure was. Even
I
like
was
80.
like, I was sad that I was only like born in the 80s and didn't really grow. I grew kind of up in the 80s because I was born in 83. So I was like,
yeah,
at the tail end, I probably got into music,
yeah,
in the 80s.
Oh,
But
you
I
did.
definitely love 80s music.
And the
yeah.
90s is really cool.
You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
to live the 90s
It's
and
true.
the 2000s,
Early 2000s
which is
is
like
like,
peak humanity. Let's be
yeah.
honest. Like,
Yeah, the 90s were great and like so were the early 2000s and everything. For, the emo, start of emo is pretty much
Yeah,
because you were mentioning Paramore and they started in the early
yeah,
2000s. So,
yeah. Linkin Park and Paramore, like
yep.
that they, yeah. I was listening to them as a kid. I loved them so much. Seen Paramore twice. Love
Yeah.
Paramore. You were
My
there.
co-host, my co-host would probably call me out because I always mention my favorite band is Story of the Year.
Oh, right, okay,
They're
yeah,
my favorite band from forever ago. I've been fans since they were before they were Story of the Year. They were called Big Blue Monkey.
Oh, wow.
so,
Yeah.
yeah,
What a
Fun
name.
fact, fun fact if you didn't know.
Yeah.
So with all these song releases and everything, are you guys planning on releasing an EP or a full length?
So, at the moment, we've been in the studio to work on a couple of singles. So I'd say EP, we're not as kind of pushing for. I think the next step would maybe be album,
yeah,
rather than EP. But it's all up in the air. It's all to
yeah.
discuss and work out
Yeah.
together. To be honest.
We've got a couple of singles for this year, and a lot of sort of live stuff going on. Um, and this is hypothetical, but maybe towards the tail end of next year, we would be looking at dropping an album if all goes well in this very hypothetical setting because we've got so much material and we've got so much like that was sat on. Um, and like we actually went back and took some of our songs down off the internet because we feel like we can do them better effectively.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to be a couple of those songs are probably going to be on that first album.
yeah. There's a lot of like the older songs that we still play them live, but what they are live now
yeah,
compared to what they were when we recorded them, they're so
yeah,
different.
they've evolved and
Yeah, and
they've
the sound's so
changed.
much bigger, and we just feel like the recording doesn't get that across.
Yeah,
So that's why we took them down. We do want to redo them.
Yeah.
Just get the quality up, get the standard up a bit.
yeah. But album next year if all goes well.
Right. I mean, a lot of people are doing EPs.
Yeah, we did an EP a couple of years ago. It was good, but
We basically had to release it as singles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was 5 singles released across a year and made the EP. And at
Hmm.
that like, oh, why are we just doing singles and stuff like,
Yeah.
why don't we just do a single?
We've kind of found that to be more effective for how we work is to do singles rather than an EP, if you like, because we can just get a lot more out of them. So
Yeah.
we push the promotion for one song and then move on to the next song and so on and so on, rather than bundling them together. That's why we think an album next rather than EP
It also
will be better for us.
Yeah, it also like with the singles in terms of our like release schedule and how we operate, it makes us a bit more flexible. Because if we when we were doing the EP and we were releasing it like drip releasing it, it was very much we had to follow. We couldn't really adjust for any changes. We just had to stick with what we had. And if, as I said, as those songs change over time, and by the time we've released the last song, it's been like 18 months since we recorded it and we played it live however many times. So
I think, oh, we should have done it like that.
Yeah.
Why didn't we put that there? Or,
So we prefer doing the single release and then
like get everything. We know we're happy with that.
And it's like that cycle. Yeah. It's like it's kind of like a cycle that we work off of now.
Pretty
it works
much,
for us.
That's kind of like what everyone's doing now, though, because attention spans, we've had this conversation multiple times with bands. Like the attention span of people is very limited a lot of times these days because of social media and everything. So it's like you got to release a song and then it's like crazy promoted for a while and the people are interested and then they get bored. So then you got to release another song. So if you just release an EP all of a sudden out of the blue, people are going to be like bored with it, within a month.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you lose your traction on social media and everything. And
that's it, yeah. And I think it goes into songwriting itself. Like originally, Fallen had like a longer intro and stuff like that. But we cut it down because we were like, we just want to get straight to the sort of like the business basically. We want to get straight into it so we don't lose people. Like we don't lose anyone in engagement. That we're right in. We're more likely to hold people's attention.
Yeah,
stuff, so.
That's like a trend, isn't it? On Spotify. Well, because of Spotify, like if you go to anybody who works in labels and that, and they'll tell you, if you're writing a song, get to the hook, get to the hook line within the first 7-10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
A big long intro. Like it's really sad that we're never gonna get those like money for nothing, Dire Straits intros anymore. They're like 2 minutes long.
Yeah, so
cool,
good,
like, which are amazing, but like that generation's going to basically being trained by social media to scroll if they're not interested in the first 10 seconds.
Until we drop our album.
Yeah, until the album.
Like 6-minute instrumental intros all over it.
Yeah, I did notice because I listen to a lot of the music on YouTube Music because my co-host gave me access to his so I can listen to it without having to like listen to ads and stuff. So I noticed that the song Fallen does have a lot of listens and views on YouTube, more so than your other songs. How is it doing on Spotify?
It's our best one yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of smashed everything else out the water, to be honest. So like we just want to thank everyone who's supporting it and listening to it, and all the feedback's been incredible. We're kind of just riding high on it at the moment. It's been great. Definitely our best one by a good long way, innit?
Yeah,
like we did How Much last year, and numbers were our best, but the growth between this one and How Much has been like night and day. It's
like, and the sound from How Much, that was the first time that we really lent into like the sort of pop punk sound that we've got now.
Yeah.
Before that, it very much was like we had this sort of mixture of what we were all talking about before. So you got a bit of like alt rock,
and
it was kind of like alt rock, but then it was also 80s and it was like 2000. You could hear all those different influences, and now we've kind of narrowed it down. We very much we know it's closer to like pop punk than anything else. And How Much was the first song that we released. Was like let's just lean into that.
Yeah.
We did it.
Well, like a concept, wasn't it?
People liked it, and we're like, okay, let's do it again. They like that. Let's do that again. So and that's where Fallen's come from. The next one that we've got coming out is a bit darker.
Yeah.
So, still that same style, but darker and a bit more edgy.
Showing off the. It's wonderful, like being in a band like this as like a songwriter, because in a lot of projects, I feel like you're sort of like pigeonholed into a box where you can only do this much inside this box. And with our band, it's great because we have that flexibility to go a little bit heavier or to go a
Yeah.
little bit lighter or to maybe try something that we normally wouldn't and be a little bit risky or avant-garde in a way. Um,
And
so
we're
yeah,
not afraid to try anything either. Like we're quite fearless in terms of
yeah.
let's just try that.
Let's go
Yeah.
Let
for
me
it
do it.
and see what
If
it
we
is.
have fun, we have fun. That's kind of
Yeah.
like from the get go. We just want to have a laugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the music videos, you can tell that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were just us having a laugh.
Yeah.
There was no thought process. It was just
Yeah.
us having a laugh. We got it on a video.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Yeah, that sounds good. Film that.
You should post it.
Yeah.
Get some social media views.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you will be in our TikTok for today.
Yes.
We've been told that we need to step up the socials. So
Oh yeah. Social media, it's like a double-edged sword in a way. Like you need it, but you hate doing it sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work
Yeah.
keeping up on the socials. Trust me, I know. I'm the one that posts most of our socials on our podcast stuff. So I've been
Yeah.
trying to do more like videos of me talking to get people to do that, but I'm horrible at them. Horrible at them.
It's so awkward, isn't it? Trying to talk just at a camera, like just
Some
look.
people are so good at it though.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because they've been doing it a lot longer or they're just that much more charismatic on the camera.
I found a little thing that helped because I'm like I like performing, but in reality, I'm actually quite not very sociable. So it's a bit it's a weird one for me. So what I find is if I'm saying it to the camera, I'll say it as if I'm sending a message to one of my mates on Snapchat.
Right.
But it's not going to be seen by loads of people. It's just for like it's for him. And I'm like, this is what I'm doing today, kind of thing. That kind of helps me. But like you say, it's a jungle out there.
It is.
It's
It
hard.
is. It's rough. It's rough. And there's so much of it. So you got to compete with everyone.
so cheesy. It's the cringiness.
People love cringe, though. People love cringe.
You post that? Is that okay? Is that too cheesy? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we do it anyway.
So I'm just curious, how does your music reflect your personal experiences and emotions, and how do you hope it resonates with your fans on a deeper level?
That's a really cool question.
Yeah.
Um,
We kind of hope that everyone finds their own story in our music. I think they're very relatable in some lyrics that we've got. That each individual can kind of take it as their own, if you like. That's what we try and put out.
yeah.
We are certainly the word man.
Yeah.
I'd be able to explain it a lot better than I can.
So when we're writing and stuff, I've kind of got two different modes that I'll go in. I'll either draw on something that I've experienced in my life, or I go down the what if kind of route and like what if this was like this, what if X was Y, and all that kind of stuff. Like a good example of that is a song we've got called "So Good," and it was about like I didn't necessarily have this experience, but like I wanted to write a song about people's drunk alter egos. And like when people are drunk, they change kind of thing. And I was like, how do I capture that into 3.5 minutes as a concept kind of thing? So there's stuff about like addiction in there, there's stuff about like alcoholism, there's stuff about like being true to yourself, but then like, being hard sometimes and stuff like that. And then there's songs like How Much where it's me and my struggles with addiction and how in this lifestyle, I love the lifestyle that I have, but it can sometimes when you're burning the candle at both ends and when you're doing too much, it can actually be dangerous and bad for your health. So that how much I don't know how much more I can take is I don't know how long I can keep doing this before I sort of have everlasting problems kind of thing. So yeah, we draw from anywhere and everywhere, but it's usually a concept or a personal experience.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
cool thing about that as well is people can interpret it however they want. Like
Yeah.
the how much
That's
more I
it.
can take.
Yeah,
You're talking about it of as your experience with
Yeah.
like addiction and that, but then someone could take that as like just having
A bad time.
crappy job or
Yeah.
something. It's like I don't know how much I could take of this job.
Exactly, and that's like that's the cool thing about how we try and write is it's open to interpretation, and it's not like here's what I'm telling you, and you need to listen to it like this, and you need to understand it in this way. None of that. Like we go, here's our piece of music, and here's what we want to say. We hope it makes you feel better or worse or fired up or sad or unlock something that you've had trapped in there.
Yeah.
So that's more our MO,
Yeah.
if you will.
I mean, it's a good MO.
Nice one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder to sort of explain sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, this song's about love. This
Yeah.
song's about being sad.
Yeah.
Like I do try and have like it's like anything in it. If you've got a platform, you have an opportunity to speak. Say something cool, and say something that's gonna hopefully make a difference to people,
Right.
whether that's tiny or massive. It doesn't matter. Like if you're gonna do it, go for it, kind of thing. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean,
That's
you never know. A song you write could save someone's life.
exactly
Exactly.
things like that.
Mm.
And like
Yeah.
I've definitely experienced that. Like there's some music in my life where it's got me through some really bad times and things like that. So if we were to do that for someone, I feel that would be a
That'd be
big moment.
amazing.
That'd be a big
Yeah.
moment for me.
Yeah.
Especially like definitely. Guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Guess we'll find out. You'll never know.
Oh,
Maybe you'll get a message someday and say someone tells you that your song that you just released saved their life.
yeah,
Wouldn't
mean,
that be something?
Incredible.
Yeah.
indeed.
Amazing.
Yeah. And if anyone who's listening is feeling a bit blue or a little bit down in the dumps,
Drop us a message.
speak to
Yeah.
someone.
Reach out.
Like
Drop us a message.
follow us on Instagram and drop us a message. Like we are a band, but we're also humans and we can talk. So yeah,
Yep, there's always someone to talk to.
Yeah. Man.
And there's
We're-
always someone that's probably gone through something that you've gone through. So,
that's it. You're not alone out there, and I feel like people forget that sometimes. You know,
But coming back to what you were saying there about your messages versus how people might interpret it, I like that. The time about us is that classic argument of is art subjective or is it objective? And I think I've always been it's kind of like both, where there is an objective of what the art is, and that's what the artist wants you to see.
yeah,
But then people can interpret that subjectively, and
Yeah.
I think that's what's cool about our writing, is that it kind of like goes right down the middle in that sort of
we always try and inspire people to think,
yeah.
not necessarily in a certain kind of way, like with an agenda. Just use your
think,
brain.
yeah.
Just think for yourself, like kind of thing.
hmm
So
Yeah.
again, easier said than done sometimes. but
yeah. Well, speaking about like writing and songs and everything, a lot of people are doing collaborations. Now, is there anyone in the UK, any bands in the UK you would want to collaborate with versus like United States bands that you would want to collaborate with?
Oasis.
I mean, the list could probably go on.
Yeah, there's a big list. I think do you know what I'd love to do something with? Robbie Williams.
Oh my god, that'd be
He's
hilarious.
just a legend,
Yeah.
bro. Like he's just boss. I got a soft spot for Robbie Williams.
That would be funny.
You do.
That would be
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, I do. Yeah.
No comment.
I'd want to go like complete other way. We could get like Girls Aloud with ex Rivia. I think that would be the funniest thing. Like, can you imagine that?
You just want to make girls alone.
That as well? Yeah, but like just the collab. Oh, it'd be so fun. Be the biggest thing. It's like
Bring me the horizon, man.
Yeah,
That'll be my
that would
pick.
be cool.
That'd be my thing. The tune of Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, Ozzy would be amazing.
Yeah.
Ozzy would be like incredible. Realistically,
Dinosaur pile up.
Dinosaur Pile Up. They're a band
yeah.
from Leeds. They're a three-piece from Leeds. They've done some bits over in the States. They're awesome. We've been to see them like a few times.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, we just
I've never heard of them, but I'll definitely check them out.
check them out.
Get on them.
Check
They're
them out.
really good.
They're awesome. Cairo's would be cool. Our mates in the Cairo's, fellow Liverpool bands.
Yeah.
We share a practice room with them. So we're always like
Big
Bumping
shout out to
into
them.
each other.
in and out of each other's pockets.
Big love to them as well.
Yeah, they're doing some incredible stuff. Their latest song is amazing.
Yeah. Check them out.
So that'd be cool to do. Big massive Scouse takeover kind of thing. That'd be lots of fun.
But yeah, we could go on.
Yeah, we could.
For hours, I think.
Red Rum Club, they're another one. Good friends of ours. Like they have a Scouse Americana, have a trumpet player, incredible band. The list really could go on and on. Like
Yeah, you just were talking like a trumpet player now. Like, is there any random instruments you guys would ever implement into a song?
I mean, I want a full orchestra, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that'd be amazing.
Full orchestra, live is
anything and
the dream.
everything. Yeah. Like
That'd be so cool.
we just have recently expanded our lineup to include a keys player, the wonderful Zara Smile, and she's really sort of changed the band.
The live show
for the better. Like,
specifically the live show.
Absolutely. It just adds that extra sort of polish and extra like instrument is just it just makes it like there's even been songs that we stopped playing live because we couldn't get them to the standard that we wanted them to, and then with the inclusion of Zara, we put them back in the set because we can actually achieve the sound that we're trying to get, kind of thing.
Work now,
I think they sound amazing. So yeah, it's a mad one. It's a mad one. If you asked me like a year ago, would we have a keys player or a synth player? I'd be like, no. I guess that's the way it goes, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, maybe that was like the missing link.
And I think that's how we kind of feel about it, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. The goal, the end goal, or rather for me, the big like milestone would be Philharmonic Hall.
Yeah.
Philharmonic Orchestra.
Yeah, that'd be
really
yeah. I'd do the slash and stand on the grand piano.
I'd just be happy that I wouldn't have to play guitar anymore. I can get one of those little conductor sticks. I hold my mic in the other hand. Yeah, I'll be having the time of my life. Can we do that soon?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you can add anything you want. It's your music.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see that live.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
So, what is the music scene like in Liverpool these days?
Big.
Booming.
Booming?
Have that huge heritage.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the Beatles is always the big one that kind of everyone mentions, but there's so many, and the list goes on.
Yeah. I mean, and Oasis. I mean, they're a Manchester band, but they came up here.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
it's one of them. Like, it's such a small town, isn't it? It's a tiny city compared to like Manchester or like Birmingham. But the talent level is just incredible. Like you literally go every single corner in the city. You turn a corner, there's a bar, and someone's playing music in there, and they're incredible. You turn the next corner, it's the same. Everywhere you go in the city, and it's beautiful to be a part of that and live in that.
And it's weird, like growing up in it, you just think this is normal.
Yeah, we got a bit of a shock, didn't we? Like the first time we toured and stuff like that, because we were like, well, where's all the bands and where's all the singers? And it's like, it's a very special place.
Yeah, and what we've noticed as well is when we go, if we've done like festivals and that, there's been a few festivals that we've done where like half the other acts there are from Liverpool.
Yeah.
And you'll just bump into people who's like, I didn't know you were playing this, mate. Nice to see you. And all of that. And like, so many of the bands will be Scouse.
Yeah.
It's just great. Isle of Wight was the big one. Isle of Wight's on like the opposite, the bottom end of the country.
South coast.
Like 4 hours away, 5 hours away. And when we went there was like literally half the bands.
Yeah, it's like a Scouse invasion.
There's a load of Scousers. There's like Liverpool just turned up in the Isle of Wight for the day.
Literally.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that it's booming. I mean, sometimes we've talked to people and guests on the podcast, and they're like, "Yeah, there's really no scene in my old town. That's why I moved."
Yeah.
Which is, you got to make one as well, man. Like, how are you gonna make a scene or be a part of a scene if you don't engage with other bands and you don't interact with other bands who you like and sound like you or you look up to and things like that. Like that's just how it goes, isn't it?
But that's what we meant by like we got a bit of a shock when we left. First time we really did a tour around the UK. We go to people and the bands that you be playing with, the support or whatever, you be chatting to and you say, so like, what's a good place around here for a bit of live music? And they go, and you're just like, whoa. Like, it was
just in Liverpool. It's like, oh, you've got blood like
down there, over there, around the corner there. Like, so
literally,
it is nice. Fortunate being a musician growing up in Liverpool.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like strange opportunities that you wouldn't normally get in like other places. Like I've been fortunate enough to have a job out of playing music, and I gig for my job. And I think it's because there's just so much work readily available for me to do that in a sustainable way. And I don't think that there is as many opportunities like that in other cities. I mean, I don't know that for certain, but it's definitely the impression that I get.
Yeah. Now you were saying you guys have played some festivals. What have been some of your favorite festivals you played? And do you have any bucket list ones that you really, really want to play in the UK?
Yes.
Bucket list. I'm gonna throw. It's got to be Glasgow.
It's got to be Glastonbury.
Glastonbury's like
everyone's got it.
The big.
That's like done.
We made it.
UK is complete. Like, when you
Pyramid Stage, Reading and Leeds.
Reading Leeds,
but one of the Leeds bit.
Download.
Download would be cool. The big start a big rock festival, isn't it? There's a festival called 2000 Trees, and it's like in a forest instead of in a field. So that'd be interesting. They also have some really good bands like every. Hey, what's the one down Brighton way?
Great Escape.
Great Escape. That'd be amazing.
We were actually lined up to do that. We were lined up to do Great Escape in 2020 before everything shut down.
Before the Big C.
Yeah, the
Big C, yes.
E-bomb. Don't say it.
Yeah. I've heard of Download in 2000 Trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Download's like I'd say that's probably the second biggest, isn't it? Download.
Yeah.
You got Glastonbury and then Download's like the next biggest after that, and that's more like the heavier side of music.
Yeah.
I'd be more comfortable there.
There's always great lineups, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think Coachella would be amazing though as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can name off some festivals over here in the States if that you'd ever want to play.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, Coachella's the big one.
Do you know what? I'm so upset that Warped Tour's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, man.
Warped Tour.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Out for the Warped Tour.
Well, you never know. Maybe they'll do a UK. Maybe they'll do something over in the UK. They're testing the waters with the 3 cities in the United States. So
yeah.
You never know.
Come on, Warped Tour. I think less festivals, but more like places I'd like to play in the US. Just the Sunset Strip, LA, like the Whiskey A Go Go and all those kind of legendary sort of glam rock bars. That'd just be like a cool piece of history.
Yeah.
To sort of like
definitely
all these bands that I absolutely adore and worship.
Yeah.
All start here, like kind of thing. So
to be honest,
amazing.
If we got a gig in America, we'd be like we'd be bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
A gig.
In a parking lot, like we'll be bombed, won't we? Like, yeah, we'll play.
Yeah, I've heard it's harder for you guys to come over here than it is for us to go over to the UK when it comes touring, because it's all about visas and everything.
Yeah. The visas are expensive,
and the US is obviously a lot bigger.
Right, a lot more traveling. We're spread out a lot more than you are in the UK.
No, it'd be hard work, but we will make it happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'll sell my kidney.
Yeah.
I'll sell my kidney on the black market. If anyone's in the market for the kidney, we need to come to the States.
You never know. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. So in the UK, what are some of your favorite venues that you guys have played?
We played the Cavern.
The Cavern was
that's a legendary one. That's so where the Beatles started and played their first sort of shows and stuff. We've basically done like the Beatles origin story. Like we've done the Jacaranda. We've sold out the Jacaranda multiple times. We've done the Cavern, Zanzibar, which is just more of a legendary Liverpool venue.
Yeah,
Um,
really good for like grassroots venue.
yeah.
Like most bands, if you ask them,
If you come up in Liverpool,
yeah, any
they play
band,
Zanzibar.
any band from Liverpool, usually the first venue that they play in is the Zanzibar.
1975, Zanzibar.
Oh yeah.
Favorite one, no favorite one that we've played. It's hard.
I liked the Eagle in Manchester.
That was
That
cool.
was really cool. It was like an old. It was a pub, but it
Yeah,
was like an old house
Yeah.
conversion. So it still had like the fireplace in, but the ceilings were taken down.
yeah.
So, like,
It was mad. It was like a retrofitted gig house.
yeah, that was
Like,
that
but
was
even
good.
like it had like a balcony up at the top. But like but the balcony's so high up, you're basically looking at the top of the heads of like the anyone who's on stage.
Yeah.
So it's just an experience. Like outside area, like ping pong table and all kinds of madness.
Yeah, that was
For
cool.
me,
Fun
it's Montfort.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was what 3,500 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane.
That's a big venue in Liverpool Uni. We
Yeah.
supported the Wombats one night. We opened for them one night,
Yeah.
and it was one of them where we got told before we went out. It was like lads, listen, you're first on. You know, you're on at 7:15. Doors are at 7. Don't be disheartened if there's only 100 people out there. Yeah. And we were like,
Yeah, we were like,
we made up. We were like,
no.
100 people, yeah. And then he went up the stairs first. That was it. As we came out, there was a big curtain and we couldn't see anyone.
Yeah.
And we go out, and the fella standing there at the door, like he just sort of says to us, he goes, "Bit busy out there, lads." And we went, "Oh yeah, all right, mate." Yeah. He walked up the stairs, and I just remember him turning around, going. And I went, what? And I got up the stairs and looked, and it was just front to back.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Oh my god.
We had a friend in the crowd who came in just before we came on. He said there was a guy on the door with a clicker to count how many people had gone in. And he went up to him and said, "Excuse me, mate, how many are in there?" And he said it broke at 3,000. And we were like, so yeah, that was for me.
That was an
one,
experience.
that was like a taster of like, oh, okay, this could be like
a really big show.
I want to do that again. Let me do that again.
Huge thank you to the Wombats for having us on
yeah.
that. That was it was life changing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I was actually going to ask about stories from the road or shows that you guys have played, and that was one story. Got any other ones?
Yeah.
John, I think we could go on.
I love stories. We love stories.
So many.
The other one in Leeds, where we stayed in that hotel. Where it was bed and breakfast, but there was no breakfast.
Yeah, got the bed and breakfast, and the guy kind of signed us in. He went, "So your breakfast is included in the hotel, but we don't actually have breakfast, so you've got no breakfast." And we're like, "All right, okay." So
good start. Good start.
Yeah, so it's not
that's included.
Yeah. We got to the room. It was just one room with maybe 19 beds, just like Tetris, everywhere in there. We're like, "Oh my god, what is this?" I said, "You've got to leave 9 a.m. It's a 9 a.m. checkout." You're like, "Right, okay, no worries." And then, no word of a lie, we kind of got up in the morning. It was 8:59. And I watched my phone turn from 8:59 to 9. As soon as it turned to 9, it was like, no, on the door. He's like, "Come on, lads, are you ready? You ready to go?" Like, geez, you must have been standing there waiting.
Just waiting for it to 9.
Yeah. And to put into context, we'd been out the night before.
Yeah, we played a really good gig, didn't we? And then we had a few beers, and then we stayed out late, and then we may have forgot the checkout time at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, we got
back
at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're whammoed, we're all wobbly, and we go, "Let's get some food." But every time we go on the app to order food, as we were ordering, the place would close. So we did it about 5 times. By the time we got to the 5th place, we thought we'd ordered 3 pizzas. And then there was no confirmation emails, not like that before.
It's 4 a.m. at this point as well. It was just
pack it in, don't worry about it, we'll leave it. And then I just remember being asleep, and his phone starts going off, and he's like Dracula. He just rises from the bed like that, gets on his phone, and goes, "You're outside." And then he got up, went downstairs, picked up these pizzas. It was like 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're all just sat there. Just,
Dying into pizza.
so we got to leave in 3 hours, please.
Yeah. Wasn't a good one.
Yeah, wasn't nice.
Yeah, I've got a my Isle of Wight
Oh my god! Yeah.
bottle.
Festival that we played last year.
Yeah.
The info, yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I forgot to drink any water.
Replaced it with beer.
Replaced it with beer. So we were there for the first day, played the show, went really well, met loads of people, lovely, lovely, like having a great time with everyone. And then I don't remember getting back to the tent. I remember waking up in the tent and it being about 400,000 degrees because it was like really sunny outside and I had like really thick sleeping bag. And I just remember being like, I feel like I'm melting, and then just proceeded to like spew for the next like 8 hours.
For context, by the way, like that again, the night before, we were all sat around like a fire with like 5 other bands that we'd met that day.
Yeah.
And one by one, we were all starting to doze off.
Yeah.
I went at about, as our bassist went, and then I went about half an hour after the bassist. Must have been like 2 o'clock or 2 in the morning. And I'm walking, but I got back to the tent, and all I could hear was the bassist Peter snoring. I opened the tent.
Like a truck.
I opened the tent, right, and was just hit with this wall of just like heat, sweat, beer, and I just went, nah. I turned around, I grabbed me sleeping bag, and I just went and slept in my car. And the next morning, I got up the next morning about like stupid o'clock again. Went to Mackey's. I was like, I'll get the boys a Mackey's breakfast. That'll everyone will be all right then.
Yeah.
And I come back, and I'm walking across the field with the Mackeys, and it's like these are sat outside, and they see me one by one. So he sees me and he goes, "Oh!" And then Peter, the bassist, he goes, "Oh!" And then he saw me, he just went, and it was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
have a Mackeys."
Hash brown.
Yeah, you gotta drink water. Gotta drink water.
Lesson learned the hard way.
Yeah, that's usually how some lessons are learned. The hard way.
It was funny to watch. As someone who didn't have to experience it, it was very funny then.
Yeah, you guys were loving it.
Yeah, they won't let you live it down as now. So
Yeah, I know. It took me a while.
but we do learn from our mistakes, so at least you'd hope so.
We've had some belters, we've had some good ones. There's so many.
Yeah. We set a bar on fire in Leeds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I don't know if that was on purpose or by accident, to be honest. Like, because the guy who's like the bartender,
It was shots, wasn't
we lined up a load of shots on the bar.
Yeah.
We was being silly and having a little bit too much fun. As we lined all these shots up, and the bar guy's like, "Yeah, man, like that's easy money." Like, so we got like 100 shots lined up on the bar, and just giving them out like they were like free food tokens. Like, I want for you, I want for you. I don't know. Like at some point, he tried to like set the like bar on fire with like alcohol, and it just didn't
go
well. It just far too much, and then it started like dripping down the side of the bar and on the floor, and then it was
And it was one of them. We were standing there.
and we was like, oh, that's like really on fire, isn't it? That's like that's not cool anymore. That's dangerous. Like,
let's get out of here, man.
yeah, we go.
Yeah,
Well, at least the place didn't completely go up in flames.
Oh no,
We were mere spectators. We were trying to put out the fire by drinking all the shots.
Yeah, we were trying to get rid of the fuel.
Yeah.
There you go.
We were heroes.
You were thinking. You were using your noggin.
Yeah, that was that was the chicken nuggets in Leeds as well.
Oh, yeah, he just
Uh,
dropped
we-
chicken nuggets everywhere.
I don't remember
Oh,
any of
yeah.
that either.
That was funny. We've had some great ones in Leeds. to be
That's
fair.
Leeds, a good night out, Leeds.
Yeah.
We'll have to get back to Leeds.
Go
What-
back to Leeds.
The drive-through
The drive.
situations, the buckets of soup.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
God, buckets of soup. I mean, that's always one. When we're on the road, we'll always go through a drive-through, whether that like be Mackey's or Burger King or
Burger King.
whatever it is.
Maybe KFC,
And,
Subway.
we've got. I don't know if you've seen this video before, where the guy asks for a big bucket of soup at the drive-through, but
I
that's
don't
just because
think so.
we've just adopted it. So every time now, like
It's ours
we'll
now.
put the window down, and the guy or whatever goes over.
What are we going to take your order?
Yeah, you go. Yeah, have you got any big buckets of soup, please? And 20 chicken nuggets. And then every time we just try and get the best response out of them.
Yeah.
So far, the best one we've had was, I think the mic's broken. Do you mind coming round for us?
Come round to the window and say that again.
Yeah.
And we go around to he's there, he's there.
Yeah.
Have a go. Well, like it'll be like, it'll be whoever's driving, will put the window down and they'll forget about the joke. And you'll hear like, Hi, welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order, please? And then you'll go to say something. Whoever's in the passenger seat goes, big bucket of soup. And the poor fella on the other end's like,
Sorry.
say that again.
That's how
What's that?
But
It's
we
so
are
silly.
yet to actually receive a big
big
bucket
bucket
of soup as well. So maybe one day we will get one.
Maybe
Yeah.
got to go somewhere that actually serves soup, though. I think.
That's the funny bit, though. Like
Yeah.
the fact that
That might
none of them just love the idea of just being just some poor guy just working the window and some
Just hearing. Did you
A
just say
bucket.
They say soup.
Yeah, a
He
bucket.
gets what he said soup.
a bucket though.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they would charge you for a whole bucket.
Yeah.
Depends how big the bucket
Do you know
is.
what? If they
Yeah.
got us a bucket of soup, I'd give them whatever they wanted. I'd laugh. They can have it. Like.
Well, I feel like someday it'll happen because you guys are trying to like make it happen by asking all the time. So it's got to happen at some point.
It'll be when we least expect it.
Yeah.
When we actually don't want any soup,
Yeah.
we'll get it.
We'll be like, what? Didn't you guys order a bucket of soup?
You get to the window to pay. It's like, all right, mate, yeah, it's 250. What's that for?
Yeah.
It's like the bucket of
The
soup.
big bucket of soup. Yeah. The big family bucket of soup.
Oh, you do that now?
One day. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you guys are out on the road, do you guys have any favorite snacks that you like to have?
So I think.
Cigarettes.
Yeah.
Does that count?
We always keep a can of Pringles lying around.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
That's kind of just in the car somewhere.
Yeah.
There's always like,
Or there's like some M&Ms or something like that,
Yeah.
just knocking about somewhere. I mean,
not
just
sponsored, but like
Yeah.
we've got the mini eggs.
Ah,
Mini eggs
Cadbury
on
mini
top.
eggs.
it is mini egg season, so like we've got the mini eggs.
Those are addicting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I reckon I could, if someone passed me a big bucket of mini eggs, I wouldn't stop.
My kryptonite is like Milk Duds or peanut butter M&Ms.
Milk Duds.
We haven't heard of milk duds.
What's a
No
dud?
Milk Duds.
Last week's the UK, yeah.
I know there's a lot of different things that you guys haven't probably had that we have in the States, but you can't get them in the UK because they won't make them with certain ingredients out of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
There's a
Right.
couple of
The sugar tax and all that.
Yeah.
That's why they're addictive.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about this with some other UK bands and stuff, and they're like, "Is there a cereal or something that you'd want to eat? That's your favorite cereal? That's like a United States cereal that you haven't had, you know?" Because we have all those things, but they're trying to change that over here now. So they're trying to get rid of like red dye and all sorts of other things.
Well, what's Captain Crunch? What's your
Because
explanation
we
of that?
always hear about Captain Crunch, but we obviously don't have that over here. We don't
Yeah.
actually know what it is.
Yeah, I have a box in my pantry right now, actually.
nice.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
It's very well known for when you eat it, it rips up the top of your mouth.
Oh, wow.
Because
Yeah.
it's like destroys the top of your mouth. But I mean, only if you like eat it instantly after you put the milk in. You gotta let the milk soak a little, and then it won't rip your mouth to shreds as much.
Gold nuggets. Yeah.
Oh my god, I had cold nuggets in years.
Wait, is Captain Crunch funny flavored?
They have regular, it's just a plain one, and then they also have the one with crunch berries. So it's got
Oh,
like berry flavored berries in it.
Berry flavored.
Well,
No,
they're not berries, but they're crunchy cereal.
yeah.
American.
That sounds American.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it is a favorite. It is a favorite, even though it rips your mouth up. Somehow we still eat it.
Good way to start the day, innit?
So if you ever come to the States, you'll just have to get a box of Captain Crunch with
Just
crunch berries.
find
I'm
it in a-
sorry, it's best with crunch berries.
Yeah.
Just raw dog it, no milk.
Straight out the box.
I mean,
I'll believe.
everyone would say it's worth it.
It's really, really good.
Oh my god.
Do you guys have any? I'm just curious. Do you guys have any pre-show rituals, individually or as a band as a whole?
I mean, I won't drink before the gig. I stay completely like clean before the
Yeah.
gig. So that's like my thing.
We used to go to Subway before every gig.
Yeah.
We used to just get a Subway before every gig.
Don't really know how that happens, but we still will if we're out of Liverpool. Because in Liverpool now we go to a place called Tokyo.
Yeah.
It's
So,
kind of like
amazing Asian foods.
it's incredible. It really
Lovely.
is.
Real good.
So that's kind of became the Liverpool
Yeah.
trend, if you
That's
like.
that's the home eat.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the hometown tradition.
And if we're out of Liverpool, we always go to Subway.
It's either we get a Subway before the gig or we get a Burger King on the way home.
After the gig.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Yeah,
Depending on how
yeah.
hungry we
So
are.
there's
Or both.
There's a Burger King about 20 minutes down the motorway
Yeah.
outside of Liverpool.
Yeah.
You always come back along
way,
that motorway. So it's one of them where you'd be like, oh, should we get something to eat before the gig or should we just hold out and get a heavy Burger King later?
5 Whoppers.
Yeah,
Five
more
five
Whoppers.
more Whoppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy meal for Peter.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Yes.
know though, sometimes you just want the kids' meal.
Yeah.
You want the
I want
toy?
the toy, yeah.
I mean, you can buy the toys separately usually.
And yeah, maybe in
Yeah.
America. Maybe in America. I
You
don't know.
can't do it in the UK. They won't sell it separately.
Never heard of
I'm
that.
gonna go find out later.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you can, I'm about to get some new toys.
Yeah, here in the States, if you go to McDonald's, you can be like, "Can I just buy the toy?" and they'll sell it to you.
Never do that.
Do you know what?
Yay, capitalism.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to be the same over there, but maybe it's not.
Maybe just like I mean, I've never tried.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys go and try and you succeed and you buy the toy, take a picture and just, send it or put it on social media and tag us in it.
Yeah.
Can you believe this?
Be like, "It's real. I got just the toy."
He wasn't lying.
Oh yeah. We'll try that.
But I'm on to my very last question for you. And it's kind of funny because you were talking about this band called Dinosaur, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Dinosaur pileup.
Yeah, Dinosaur Pileup. And our last final question is, what is your favorite dinosaur?
I don't know what it's called yet, but whatever one's got like the super long neck. Like that's so cool.
Is it
Doesn't narrow it down.
What's the guy?
Diplodocus.
Is that a Diplodocus? He's just like little stubby body and all that, but he's got like a neck that's like 10 feet tall. That's one of them guys.
Is it a swimming dinosaur or is it a land dinosaur? Because there's a brontosaurus, a brachiosaurus.
Maybe it's Brontosaurus. Whatever one looks like an old school giraffe.
I'm gonna double check mine.
I'm going with the Spinosaurus, Jurassic Park 3.
Okay.
Yeah, good old. Yeah, I like Spinosaurus. He's a pretty cool guy.
I'm going with the long neck one.
Well, my favorite dinosaur is a brachiosaurus, so that's a long neck as well.
That's the big one, isn't it? Isn't that the biggest one?
Long neck guys.
My guy's also a long neck
Oh,
guy.
there you go.
I'm on the Diplodocus vibes.
Okay,
With
Uh-oh.
a Diplodocus.
freezing up here.
What's to say?
It's a cool band.
Oh, we're freezing up. What? Oh,
It's
okay.
good now. It's good now.
Yeah.
It froze for a second when you were showing the picture of the dinosaur.
Just dinosaur. Yeah.
The podcast was almost extinct from you showing that photo.
Yeah. I'm saying Spinosaurus or Velociraptor.
Cool.
Just cause.
I'm going with whatever one has the longest neck.
I mean, I'd have to Google what dinosaur has the longest neck. Let's find
Yeah.
out. Let's find out right now.
It's going to be that.
What dinosaur has the longest neck? Oh my God, I don't even know if I can say that. It's like Mammon Cheesiosaur.
Cheesy so
Chisosaur or something. I don't know. It's hard to spell. I'm like, what? I don't know. Can we read this?
The Mammon Chisaurus. Mammon Chisaurus?
I'm just going to call it long neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheesiosaur.
Jonathan Long.
Yeah, the longest neck. I don't know. There's a multiple. See, there's multiple long necks.
Any of
They
them.
all look like Diplodocuses.
I mean, it is a long neck dinosaur, so they probably are relatives of each other. So
Very true.
that's crazy, though. That's crazy.
It's just cool.
Why is
Isn't
that your prerequisite?
It's just cool.
It does say that neck of the longest dinosaur is 49.5 feet long.
Oh my god.
Small.
And a giraffe's neck is only as long as like 10 feet or longer.
So
Oh my
strange because
God.
like I've seen giraffes and when you look at them you go, look how long their necks are. So can you imagine being one of them?
That's probably why they have such small heads. Because if their head was too heavy, they'd probably fall over.
Have you seen giraffes fight?
Oh yeah, they just
They do. They do fight.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
can you imagine that times 4 in the neck length? Be crazy.
I'm
I feel like Dana White would be all over that.
Oh yeah, there's some money to
Yeah.
it. Ain't no way to be
I feel like there'd be cameras at Octagon and press conferences before you knew it. For some reason.
But if my co-host was here, his is an ankylosaur. That's his favorite dinosaur. They're the ones with like the armor and the club tail.
Oh, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
They're cool.
Those are his favorite dinosaurs. So
Spiky boys.
Like even
Yeah.
Club tail boy.
Yeah.
I like Triceratops, but I feel like they're just a little bit.
I think
They just are chilling, aren't they? I've got 3 horns. I'm dead cool on that, but when it comes down to it,
I haven't got a long
I'm
neck.
like
I've got no neck.
That guy over there, he's got a 50-foot neck.
I can't see over trees. I can't reach high spaces.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Long neck for the win.
long necks for the win. Well, that was the last question we had, or I had. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add into the interview or tell anyone?
Just want to say thanks so much for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
It really means a lot to us. And stick around, keep an eye on the socials and see what's coming out. So
Yeah, Rivia.band
is the Instagram, and then Rivia_band for Twitter /